Well, here's our next lesson, guys. It's on introducing our Vowel-Consonant-e syllable pattern. So what we're doing is we're going to just look at this introduction again, and I'm going to find some words in here that we're going to talk about. So we have our introduction. Lad, a dog. A classic story of a courageous colony was first published in 1919. It was based on a collection of stories that had first appeared in magazines. The book's author, Albert Payson, was a breeder of dogs. He raised and trained many collies, and Lad was his real-life pet. He wrote other books that featured Lad as the main character. The place, in the following passage from Chapter 2, was Terhune's own Sunnybank estate, where he lived with his wife and dog. Now, what I notice here is there's some vowels that I'm hearing. I'm hearing this A, and actually I guess I'm going to highlight. That's probably better. There's this A, this O, this A again, and this A. Now, what do I notice about those sounds? Each of those letters makes a long vowel sound. And notice that there's a syllable pattern shared by all of those words. The Vowel-Consonant-Silent-E pattern. Remember, a consonant is any letter that's not a vowel, anything that's not A, E, I, O, U. And notice, all of them right after that vowel has a consonant. And then right after that consonant, there's what? There's a silent E. So when a vowel is followed by a consonant and the letter E, that vowel usually makes the long vowel sound. So we're going to head on down to our chart. And we're going to look at some words that I have written for us. So we have hated, which is found in paragraph 1. Miles, placed, gravely, alone, joke, and nose. Now, we're going to put these in the correct place on the chart. So what do we think? Where will hated go? Where will Miles go? Well, let's start. So I see hated has that long A sound. Hate. I hear that A in hate. So I'm going to put it in that long A sound. Now, do I see any others that have that long A sound? Well, I see placed right here has it. Placed. Do I see any others? Gravely has it. I hear that A in gravely. What else do I notice? I notice alone has it, but notice alone or alone doesn't make that long A sound because of that E. That O is what's making that long A or that long O sound. So that one doesn't go in this A column. Even though we see an A there, it's not making that long A sound because of that silent E. Then we have joke and we have nose. So it looks like we got all of them. So let's head now. We got hated, we got placed, gravely, and yep, that's it. So now let's head to this long I one. And font size 24. So miles. I hear that long I in miles, and notice there's an E at the end. Do I see any others that follow that pattern? Alone, joke, nose. Nope, it sounds like those are all long O sounds. So let's head on over. So we have alone. Lone makes that long O sound. Oops. I meant to change this to 24, not delete it. Then we also have what? We have joke. J-O-K. And then our final one, we have what? We have nose. So that's how we split them up. Notice they all end in that silent E. There's some like hated and miles where it doesn't look like they end with that silent E. But remember, our pattern is vowel, consonant, silent E. We're not pronouncing this E. It's silent. We could also, take off the suffix, take off that ending, and then read it and see if it makes that vowel sound. Hate, place, grave, mile. Yeah, they all still make that. So remember, you can take that suffix off and see if it follows that pattern, if it makes that sound. Now, I know the long sound because it has that vowel, consonant, silent E pattern. So we can pronounce words like gravely accurately and not mistake it for another word such as gravelly or another word. We also use context clues. If we looked in the sentence, we notice gravely means seriously, which is a far different meaning than gravelly, which is like gravel or having a rough sound. So what else can we figure out? Well, we're going to fill this chart in, and this is our word meaning chart. So we're going to read paragraphs 4 to 7, and we're going to identify words that have a vowel consonant silent E pattern and have that long vowel sound. So let's head on over. Paragraph 4. And remember, we're looking for that vowel consonant silent E pattern. So let me get my highlighter, and we're going to do a yellow highlighter for this part. However, there might be more, so if you see something I missed, let me know. There were other people at the place. We already got place, so I'm going to leave that one off. People to whom a dog must be courteous, as becomes a thoroughbred, and whose caresses he must accept. Very often, there are guests too. From puppyhood, Vlad had been taught the sacredness of the guest law. Civilly, he would endure the pettings of these outlanders. Gravely, he would shake hands with them. There's one. On request. He would even permit them to paw him or haul him about if they were the obnoxious dog-mauling breed. But the moment of politeness, polite, because I hear that light, that I, silent E, would permit, he would always withdraw very quietly from their reach, and if possible, from their sight as well. Of all the dogs on the place, Big Lad alone had run of the free house, by day and by night. He slept in a cave, notice, vowel, consonant, silent E, under the piano. He even had access to the sacred dining room at meal times, where always he lay to the left of the master's chair. With the master, he would willingly unbend for a romp at any or all times. At the mistress's behest, he would play with all the silly abandon of a puppy, rolling on the ground at her feet, making as though to seize and crush one of her little shoes in his mighty jaw, wiggling and waving his hands in the air, his legs in the air as she buried her hands in his masses of the chest, and otherwise comporting himself with complete loss of dignity. So I have 4 words here. We have shake, politeness, cave, and complete. So I'm going to fill these in. But we kind of already know what shake means. So I'm instead going to put those ones that are a little more challenging. And maybe you know what they are already. But we have politeness. And let me make this font size 16 for us. We also had what other word? We had cave. I guess I could have used shake because we all know cave. And we had complete. Now, what do these words mean? You probably can figure it out. But I'm going to go back and read that sentence and see if I can figure out what they mean and if that is correct. So politeness, we have over here. It says, but the moment the politeness would permit. So remember, they're kind of bugging him. They're petting him, they're pawing him. But the moments the politeness would permit, he would always withdraw very quietly from their reach. So what do I think politeness means? Well, I think it means good manners. He's not going to just leave until he's allowed to. So that politeness means good manners. Now what about cave? That one, we're probably not even going to go back and look. Remember, it said he had a cave under a piano. And a cave is like an underground hollow, an underground cavern. And in this case, it's a place that he's using for rest. So I'm going to put it's an underground area. And I need to shrink that just so it all fits on one line. And then our last one, complete. Remember, it says he was rolling around with complete abandon for his dignity, complete loss of his dignity. So that means its entire dignity is gone. It means his whole dignity, all of it has disappeared. Now, what vowel sounds do we see in all of this? Well, hopefully you've noticed politeness, we have that long I sound. So our vowel sound is that long I. What about in cave? Well, that vowel sound we're hearing is A, so it's a long A sound. And in complete, we hear complete, eat, is that E. So our long vowel sound we hear is that E. Now, good luck, you guys, and we'll see you in our next video.